The James Webb Space Telescope has discovered an unexpected structure in the universe. Well, what exactly does the Webb Telescope discover? And why is it regarded as something that should not exist? Is it the discovery of a higher power, or is it some kind of a new world deep in space? Stay with us as we unravel the mysteries of the early universe. The Big Bang Theory is the most widely accepted explanation for how the universe came to be. Simply defined, it states that the universe as we know it began with an unimaginably hot and dense single point that expanded and stretched, at first at unimaginable rates, then at a more measured rate, over the next 13.7 billion years to form the still expanding cosmos we see today. The James Webb Space Telescope represents a significant advancement in our quest to understand the universe and our origins. Webb looks at every stage of cosmic history, from the first brilliant glows after the Big Bang to the birth of galaxies, stars, and planets, all the way up to the evolution of our own solar system. Astronomers have discovered an unexpected discovery using the James Webb Space Telescope that scientists believed is not possible to exist. It detected 6 massive galaxies between 500 million and 700 million years after the Big Bang, when the universe was formed. 6 huge galaxies, each loaded with adult stars, were photographed by the Webb Telescope. What's more shocking is that these galaxies are 50 times more massive than scientists previously thought feasible for their early birth, and the stars inside these ancient galaxies are aged red stars rather than the dazzling blue stars predicted in early galaxies. These findings put into question our basic understanding of galaxy formation and evolution. The 6 massive galaxies, which contain nearly as many stars as the Milky Way despite having formed only 500 to 700 million years after the Big Bang, have been called universe breakers by the astronomers who discovered them. The objects are significantly larger than was previously thought possible for galaxies so soon after the Big Bang and date to a time when the universe was only 3% of its current age. If the discoveries are validated, they will throw into doubt scientists' understanding of how the first galaxies evolved. These discoveries were among the first to come from NASA and the European Space Agency's $10 billion Webb Telescope, which was launched just over a year ago. It is regarded as the successor to the Hubble Space Telescope, which is celebrating its 33rd anniversary of launch. These galaxies, revealed in a recent research based on Webb's first data release, are so far away that the powerful telescope only sees them as tiny reddish dots. Astronomers determined that they were observing these galaxies in the early stages of our universe, about 500 to 700 million years after the Big Bang, by analyzing the light radiated by them. Such early galaxies are not remarkable in and of themselves. Astronomers predicted that the first star clusters would form soon after the universe emerged from its so-called dark ages, the first 400 million years of existence when space was filled with a dense fog of hydrogen atoms. Joel Leah, an assistant professor of astronomy and astrophysics at Penn State University and a study co-author, said that these objects are way more massive than anyone expected. The findings are based on the first dataset published by NASA's James Webb Satellite Telescope, which is outfitted with infrared sensing devices capable of detecting light emitted by the most ancient stars and galaxies. Dr. Erica Nelson of the University of Colorado Boulder, a co-author, saw a sequence of fuzzy dots that appeared exceptionally brilliant and unusually red when filtering through photographs. In astronomy, redness is a proxy for age because light is stretched out or redshifted as it travels across the expanding cosmos. These galaxies appeared to be about 13.5 billion years old, putting them between 500 million and 700 million years after the Big Bang. These would not be the oldest galaxies observed by the James Webb Space Telescope, which was launched in December 2021. Last year, scientists discovered 4 galaxies dating from about 350 million years after the Big Bang, but they were much smaller. According to calculations, the most recent galaxies had the mass of tens to hundreds of billions of sun-sized stars, putting them on par with the Milky Way. If they're true, the discovery puts into question our fundamental concept of galaxy creation. "It's bananas," said co-author Erica Nelson, an assistant professor of astrophysics at the University of Colorado Boulder and one of the researchers that discovered it. Existing models predict that following a period of rapid expansion, the cosmos cooled down sufficiently for gas to consolidate and collapse into the first stars and galaxies, a period known as the Dark Ages. Scientists don't know when the earliest clumps of stars began to merge into the galaxies we see today, but cosmologists previously thought that the process began gradually taking shape within the first few 100 million years following the Big Bang. According to current beliefs, these early protogalaxies reached adolescence 1 to 2 billion years into the universe's life, developing into dwarf galaxies that began eating each other to evolve into ones like our own. Because light travels at a constant speed through space, the further we look into the universe, the more distant light we encounter and the further back in time we see. The astronomers discovered that huge galaxies had already burst into life very shortly after the Big Bang, when the universe had only 3% of its present age, by peering around 13.5 billion years into the past with the James Webb Space Telescope. According to the researchers, the galaxies are so enormous that they are in conflict with 99% of the cosmological models. This means that either the models must be changed or the scientific understanding of galaxy formation must be rethought. Currently, all evidence points to these celestial objects being galaxies, but astronomers haven't ruled out the possibility that some of them are massive quasars or supermassive black holes. According to lead researcher Ivo Labe of Australia's Swinburne University of Technology, these galaxies are extraordinarily compact, cramming in as many stars as our own Milky Way, but in a comparatively small slice of space. Labe and his colleagues initially doubted the findings, believing that galaxies as mature as the Milky Way couldn't exist that early in time, and they still need to be confirmed. Some team members thought they had made a mistake because the objects appeared to be so large and bright. "We were mind-blown, kind of incredulous," said Labe. The Hubble Space Telescope's previous imaging of the early cosmos did not discover the massive galaxies, but JWST is nearly 100 times more powerful than Hubble. The $10 billion JWST launched in December 2021 to a gravitationally stable area beyond the Moon's orbit, known as a Lagrange point. The Space Observatory was created to read the earliest chapters of the universe's history in the smallest glimmers of light. Light that has been stretched to infrared frequencies by billions of years of passage across the expanding fabric of spacetime. The researchers plan to acquire a spectrum image of the massive galaxies, which will provide them with correct distances and a clearer understanding of the chemical makeup of the archaic monsters lurking at the beginning of the cosmos. The Webb Telescope was expected to be a game-changer in the astronomy world. The Webb Telescope is a scientific trailblazer providing extraordinary insights into galaxies, planets, stars, and other fascinating cosmic phenomena. The telescope is only a few years into its cosmic adventure, having been launched in December 2021 and certified for 20 years of operation. Hubble and Webb telescopes are analogous to time machines. When the observatories gaze into the depths, they are bathed in starlight that left its source eons ago and has been traveling across the universe towards us ever since. In other words, astronomers must seek out the most distant galaxies to understand the cosmic beginning. Prior to Webb, scientists assumed that those early faraway galaxies formed slowly. When clouds of hydrogen gas collapsed in on themselves and ignited, the first stars formed. The primeval orbs were then drawn together by gravity into galaxies. It was estimated that all of this gathering of diverse stuff into enormous cosmic neighborhoods took at least 1 billion years. Sure, Hubble's most distant galaxy was unusually bright for the cosmic conditions of the time, indicating a larger collection of stars than should have been possible. But astronomers didn't think much of it at the time. They expected Webb's ultra-powerful infrared vision to reveal the beginning galaxies that they had predicted, but that Hubble couldn't see. Unlike Hubble, Webb's larger and more powerful infrared vision can peer through dust clouds and discover previously unknown galaxies. The early universe's picture is changing quicker than ever. The discovery of these galaxies calls the entire picture of the early cosmos into doubt. For the time being, the astronomers are waiting for official confirmation by sensitive spectroscopy before calling them prospective big galaxies. While some may prove to be smaller, odds are good at least some of them will turn out to be galactic giants, Labe said. The next year will tell us. But in the meantime, please do like and subscribe to our channel. The 6 galaxies were not the only discoveries made by the James Webb Space Telescope. It has also discovered something terrifying at the edge of the universe that could change our perceptions of the galaxy. Check out the end screen video to know more.